Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, we're from Peekaboo.
Room.
Before we start, let us introduce ourselves. Hello, my name is Fitri Ferela.
Hi, my name is Ratisha Karina Gumantipeo.
Hi, my name is Nafila Nazwa.
And hello, my name is Hanisha Fedam. Let's get started.
A. Models. 1. Definitions. Modal verbs are verbs that are used in combination with other verbs to express ability, possibility, permission, intention, and obligation. These verbs are can, could, may, might, must, ought, shall, should, will, and would. It can also act like a modal verb in certain situations. 2. Meanings. First, ability. She can speak Greek. He can't handle the contract, I'm afraid. 2. Possibility. Speaking theoretically, workers may or can experience fatigue. I might be ready to leave at 4. We could all be fired someday. Speaking conditionally, if we didn't have all this work, we could all go on holiday. 3. Certainly. Making logical deduction. They must be finished by now. I must have left the folder in her office. Fairly certain she should be here soon. The report may not be ready on time. Intention, making offers. Shall I help you? I will tell her. Expression willingness. If you will turn to page 12, would you let me know? Asking for permission. Can I borrow your stapler? May I come in? Might I suggest?
Next, making legal deduction. Look at the table. Verbs have, to, or must. Use or meaning, obligation of necessity. For the example, I have to work 5 days a week. I must leave at 4 o'clock to catch my train. Next, mustn't. That use or meaning for not permitted. For the example, is I mustn't smoke here. It's a non-smoking office. And then, can or cannot. That use or meaning for possibility, ability, permission, request, or informal. For the example, I can meet you next week. I cannot swim. Can I leave early? Can you help me, please? Next, may. That use or meaning for permission. For the example is, may I smoke? And then could or couldn't. That use or meaning for requests or permitted in the past. Next, for the example is, could you tell me the address? In my first job, I couldn't leave the office early. Next, should or shouldn't. That use or meaning for recommending or advising. For the example, I think we should accept the proposal. You shouldn't do that. It's not a good idea. And then, shall. That use or meaning for suggesting. For the example, shall we finish now and go for a coffee? Shall I bring you the bill now, sir? And the last one is would. That use or meaning for offering. For the example is, would you like a coffee? Would you like to eat? And the last, would you like me to help you?
The use of some models is talking about 1. Obligation. 1.1 Strong obligation. To say strongly that something is necessary, must, or unacceptable, or not permitted, or dangerous. Mustn't. For example, staff must report all suspicious activities. I must be going. You mustn't eat poisonous fruits. 1.2 Prohibition. To say a regulation, rules, or warning. For example, unauthorized personnel may not enter. He must wear a uniform every Monday. You mustn't litter here. 1.3 Suggestions. We use should, other models, and shouldn't to give and ask for advice and make suggestions. For example, you should call me. We should wear formal clothes to the dinner. He shouldn't be late for meetings. Should I apologize to him? 2. Other uses of models. 2.1. The use of should or shouldn't. 2.1.1, we use should to say that we think something is the right thing to do. For example, we should do more to protect the environment. You should always prepare a presentation in advance. Yes, I think you should. 2.1.2, we often use I think or I don't think with should to say something is or isn't a good idea. For example, I think you should go on a training course. I don't think you should interrupt her. Do you think I should learn to speak the local language? 2.2, the use of must or mustn't and have to or don't have to. In the affirmative, have to is similar in meaning to must. For example, you have to or must pay for food in shops.
Compare. You don't have to wear a hat in this building. It isn't necessary, but you can if you want to. You mustn't wear a hat in this building. It is unacceptable or wrong to do it. The form if it's positive, I, you, she, he, it, we, they, should plus go. If it's negative, I, you, she, he, it, we, they, shouldn't or should not plus go. If it a question, should plus I, you, she, he, it, we, they plus go. The short answer is yes, plus I, you, he, she, it, we, they, plus should. No, I, you, she, he, it, we, they, shouldn't. B. Adverb or of frequency. Adverbs or frequency are often used to talk about one's habit or routines, and to say how often something happens. They are never, rarely, occasionally, sometimes, often, usually, and always. 1. Position. We can put adverbs in different positions in sentence. There are 3 main positions, but also a lot of exceptions. In English, we never put an adverb between the verb and the object. For example, we often play basketball. This is the correct answer. We play often basketball. It is the wrong answer. The 3 main positions of adverbs in English sentence. The first adverb at the beginning of the sentence. The example is usually or often we go to a run after work. The second is adverb in the middle of the sentence, come before the main verb or after the verb to be. The example is the students often ride their bikes to campus, or we sometimes eat out. The third is adverb at the end of the sentence. The example is I sleep all week sometimes.